Guys, Jackie at Cruising the Sierra Farm. So today, I got an idea to make a chicken food tower. This was actually over by the back fence, looking like maybe it was going to go to the dump, but I'm actually going to use it to my advantage with the chickens and creating a food tower for them. So it is just old fencing that we had. I believe I was growing some cucumbers on this years ago, or I'm not really positive what it was used for, but it's just wound up in a circle here, and I'm gonna leave it just the way it is. It'll give it more sturdiness for what the plan is here. So the plan is, since we haven't done any cleanup from leaves dropping out front this past fall, and I just got all of that thatched grass material from the gardener, and I have some old straw bales, an old Bermuda grass bale that I found off of Facebook Marketplace type ad that somebody said their horse wasn't eating, so I grabbed that. So let me show you what I got going on here. So I took the wheelbarrow out back, or out front, well, out back first, because the thatching is down at the bottom of this wheelbarrow. And let me back this out. There we go. And as you can see, here's some of the Bermuda grass hay. And underneath there is the thatching material. And there's a little tiny bit of the straw. So I'm going to start it out as a base layer of the leaves. And that will create a really good starting point for this tower. The goal is this will compost down, and I'll add into it kitchen scraps. I will inoculate it with some worm castings and get some worm growth in there once this is composted down a bit. And then I will be throwing in some sprouted grains, organic sprouted grains that I have, barley for the most part. I might throw in there some older vegetable seeds that are probably no good for germinating now. And I plan to save seeds from this year's crop anyway. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to see if I'll either put you on my chest or just mount you somewhere inside the chicken coop so I am hands-free and not worrying about which direction I am facing as I'm doing this. Look out, Jess. All right, look out, ladies and gents. So I went out back and I grabbed some cow manure, mixed in with some straw and hay. I'm going to mount that in here on the top. And I'm going to water it in real good. Did you guys know that the best work is done when you're in your jammies still? Now, as time goes by, this will compost down, like I said. And I will just keep adding to it. And then once it really compacts down, I can just like lift this off and the chickens will go through. And then I'll take the pitchfork and I will also go through it and pick up the large pieces that still need to compost, and I'll move the tower to a new location and then just fill it back up again. I'm going to give this some time to compost down before I put any worm castings in there or worms, because this is going to heat up and we don't want to kill the worms. Great thing about the way this is done is that it allows oxygen and airflow all the way around it. So as it composts down, I will add scraps from the kitchen, some more sprouted grains, or at least soaked grains if I don't do sprouted. And yeah, it's going to provide a lot of goodness for the chickens, all the while making excellent compost. I gotta give you guys some water, don't I? Okay, so while I'm getting this water filled up, so this video is actually inspired by one of my favorite channels to watch. I don't know, there's just something calming about his voice, as well as his content is so super great on the aspect of, you know, feeding your chickens for free, which is something that I've been striving to do. But Edible Acres, he's incredible. He is located in upstate New York, if I'm not mistaken. And he uses these out in his permaculture area. And they have a whole system of creating rich compost and allowing the chickens to do a lot of that work and feeding the chickens at the same time. And it's truly incredible, and honestly allowing nature to play a huge role in that. If you haven't watched any of their videos and you're a chicken owner, you should take a look at his video. Look at this, they are already picking at it. Now, over time, this will produce a whole bunch of beneficial bacteria and worms and probably pill bugs. And oops, let me back this out now that the chickens are moving away a little bit. I got some feathers. These love this breed, but their back feathers get so thick and fluffy that they sometimes capture hold of their manure when they poop, as you can see right there. So before fly strike season, or before fly season starts, we'll get these girls cleaned up and clipped up, so we don't have any fly strike issues like we did a couple years ago. All right, that water is filled up. Hey, if you don't have one of these, hold on, let me put this down real quick. I highly recommend this waterer. My water never freezes in this thing. It is a Over Easy chicken waterer. It's got 3 nipples down here at the bottom. I've had this for probably at least 6 years, and it has done so well for me. It lasts a long time. I want to say it's 12 gallons. I could be wrong on that, but I think it's 12 gallons. Let's see, does it say on here? Yep, holds 12 gallons. Over Easy chicken waterer. I also like this feeder, although the chickens do a lot of foraging and eating barley sprouts that I bring them. I have an organic mix that I bring them, and then they like to forage out in the garden area, but once the garden gets going, they won't get to do a whole bunch of that anymore. But stoked that they're already interested in this tower. What do you think about that, ladies? Yep, and they're already going to scratch around it. So here's the great thing, is that if there's any worms in this dirt from times that I've actually brought, let's see, what would it be? Microgreen trays out here, the spent microgreens. Soil that I make is coconut coir and my worm casting, so no doubt that sometimes there are worm cocoons in there, which means that there definitely could be a ton of worms underneath this layer of soil here. And so this here will absolutely encourage the worms to come to this location and to be underneath that pile and into that pile after some time. So this will create amazing, amazing stuff for the chickens to eat. I think I'm going to work on creating a whole different vibe to this inside of this run. Of course, I have to leave some areas for the girls to dust like this one's doing right now. But I definitely would like to bring in some more of this type material to let build up And definitely we'll be doing it over in that chicken run. Once the gardener starts coming and I have more material to work with, green grass clippings, more of the thatching material that we have a big pile of out back and such. Anyway, so yeah, I try to make all sorts of means for the chickens to eat. And unfortunately for me currently, winter time is not a good one because I haven't been building the compost for the chickens because I've been building it for the pasture. And so unfortunately that has really put me behind on chicken, free chicken feed, with just a little work here, but I'll get back there. In fact, I'll probably in the next day or two start working on a pile back there with some of the grass clippings and leaves and get things going. And of course, Coco's manure after I get the spaces filled in that I need filled in back there before I can plant pasture this spring. So anyway, I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. If you can see, the skies are pretty gloomy. It is a winter weather storm warning. We got a little snow flurries yesterday. There was a little bit this morning, but we'll see what happens the rest of the day. But you guys all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you on the next video.